Hey, welcome back everyone. We got Brett and Briggs here today with Miles Pellet giving you all another parts repair video. We're going to be demonstrating on the Harman Accentra Pellet stoves. And we got a big project today, but you know what? We're going to take it step by step and we're going to get her done. And so on today's docket, we got
another good one for you today. And I tell you, if you own one of these stoves, keep it. They're well built, but when your exhaust fan goes out, we're going to show you how to take one out and how to put one in. So this is the motor, like it so, and this is the impeller or the fan piece. And this job is a doozer. That means that it's very, very tricky and it could be stressful, but if you go step by step with Briggs and I know that you will be able to do it at home. So Briggs, you ready to do it?
All right, let's tackle this.
Let's do it.
All right.
Okay, friends, here we go. It's always safety, safety, safety. So unplug your stove prior to doing any maintenance on this Accentra or any other pellet stove. And if you feel uncomfortable and you live in Lynn Lane or Benton County, call Briggs and I out for a service call. If you live in another part of the country, great. Call your local service provider. So there you go. We're all about safety. This is a boatload of tools. And you may have to go to your Ace Hardware or your Harbor Freight if you don't have all these tools. But tools will really, really smooth out this project. So you can use an impact. Great. You can use a regular ratchet. Great. So what are we looking at? 11? What are the help me with it. We got a 5/16.
5/16 and 11/32.
Yep, 5/16 and 11/32 on your bits or your ratchet. And I would highly recommend extensions on this one. It would be really, really helpful. So those are those. And then some snips or scissors. Important. And then you want wire strippers and some crimps to attach your male and female connectors. That you'll put these on the wires. And so it's all about safety. A lot of people just use wire nuts or electrical tape. Not really the safest way to go. So there you go. So the other things you'll need are what? The Allens. Oh my goodness. So to take the old motor off, you'll need a 1/8 Allen wrench. And to put the new one on, you can use a star, which is fine, a star wrench. And what is it? A T20, or use a 3mm Allen. I think that's about all. If we miss something, join us as we go through the process. But those are the things. You can rewind this. Sorry about the long list. This is a big project, but I know you can do it. And obviously, you'll need the fan motor, and you will need the impeller or the fan blade. So join with us. We're going to take our time with this. This is a very, very important part of any pellet stove. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it safe. And ready, Briggs?
Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. Briggs, what do we get into? Well, we're not going to stop. This one is really, really tricky. But again, I know you folks at home can do this. But, you know, there's more. Bonus, I guess. But good golly, it's all about protection. So you may need a grinder.
If worse comes to worse.
Yes. So I'll set that down. I'm tired of holding the dang thing. But you may need that grinder. And another thing that's really, really helpful is PB Blaster, or, you know, I don't think WD-40 is, I think PB Blaster would be your best bet to loosen up a screw we're going to show you. And what's really, really important, if you need to use this grinder, you're going to have eye protection. Got it? Put on this mask. That's if you want to, it's there. Ear protection, and obviously gloves. Now, if we have to use the grinder on this puppy, I'm going to wear my work jacket to protect my arm. So there you go. But just, there's a boatload of tools here. But, you know, it would just go with us step by step by step, and we'll keep repeating the tools, and you'll get it. So let's go to the next step. Let's do it. Are you ready for this one? Now, here's my enthusiasm. I'm sorry, folks, but good golly, there's a boatload of tools. But you know what? We're going to get it done. So, Briggs, let's go.
All right, sounds good. So we're gonna do step one. We're gonna be focusing on the front side of the stove. So there's gonna be a part one, front, and there's gonna be a part two. We're gonna have to access the back to get to the motor itself. So right here, without further ado, let's open up this door. Open that up. And get some light in here. Take your ash pan. We're gonna get that out of the way so we'll have some room to work. Right here, you're gonna have these two panels, each on the right and the left. Now to get these panels out, there are some levers right here, right about there. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Push that up and let that sit. This will come down like so. Maneuver this around. That's one panel out. Set it to the side. Now we're going to do the same thing over here. Another lever up here in the same fashion. Push that up. Let that fall. Take that out. Put that to the side. So now down here, we're going to be focusing on taking this out right here. Now this thing likes to come out one way. If you figure out another way to get it in there, please comment below, because this thing is it's a very tight fit. So what you're going to do, shut on my light there. You're going to loosen the right side, loosen the left side. This is then, I'm going to get some light in here. This then is going to come out as so. Now what you want to do over here, if you want to take a good gander, this left corner, you want to take this bracket, you want to push that all the way over, and then right here, this will clear the way on the right side, and then you can fully pull it out and set this to the side. So, with all those panels out, let's take a look. So you're right here. This is our propeller. We got to take this off so then we can take the motor off on the other side. So on this propeller, you have one bolt right here. Now you can see here, there's been a lot of wear, a lot of heat and everything else. And because of that, sometimes that bolt, this screw right here, can be a little tricky to get out. Now the last thing you want to do is strip that. If you strip that, guess what? You have to get some power tools in there.
It's a grinder.
Oh yeah, it's going to take you a little bit more time, or a lot of bit more time, let's be real. So you can either go straight away and get the tool you need and unloosen that, or if you want to make it has a better chance to get that out, get your PB blaster in here and soak that bolt and the area right in there, all kind of right in there, and just get it liberally and just kind of let that soak in. Let it soak in, kind of let it break up, and you can start unloosening the bolt.
See that thing, you know, and we will come back. We're gonna let it soak. We'll tell you how long we let it soak for, and then.
Well, let's be real. Probably maybe a couple minutes or so. That's about good, give or take, just depending. Well,
Yeah.
we are videoing, so there could be extended breaks. We'll be real.
Well, what that is just a star or an Allen screw. It's very, very small, and Briggs is right. Over time, that thing bakes on that shaft of the motor, and sometimes you can't get it out. So we'll be right back.
All right, so let's see if this goes. Now, I always like kind of doing a second treatment, just real quick, how it is. I'll spray it again, mainly kind of in that area and up top, and let it go about. So when I'm working on this, it's still getting a second round through, but also the first round kind of helped do a preliminary round. So right here, I'm going to take my 1/8. I'm going to be careful. I'm going to insert that, and we'll see how this goes. A little bit of pressure here. Try that again. And I'm just being careful about this. Try that again. Let's see, right about there. Ah, there we go. Let's see that. So right there, see that, everyone? That popped right there, and you can see how it's just baked in there, and all that stuff goes about. So now that I got my leverage in there, I'm going to go over on this side and really start trying to get it out. If it goes the right way. Man, I got to get my left and right back together. It's late at night. You got to give us a little bit of grace.
You're doing great, you know.
Right, and right there. See, it's a very tiny piece. Right there, we'll be able to get it out, and boom, right there. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to set it down, and I go gingerly because if you work too fast, give too much force, again, the last thing you want to do is strip the place right there. And right here, just give a little wiggle. Oh man, this is going to be our best friend. Look at this. Beautiful.
Now,
right then and there.
We didn't stage this, but you know, Briggs, the PB Blaster worked great. And folks, if you strip this very, very small Allen screw and you can't get that fan blade off, then the recommended way is get all your protection on, you know, your gloves, your glasses, etc., and you will take your grinder in there.
Here, I'll show them a little bit there. My dad's got a good point. So right here, let's give you guys a visual. So this thing came off nicely, but let's say if it doesn't, and it's just on there, you can't do anything, you bolt stripped out, worst of the worst. So what you can do is, he's right, the grinder, you will have to make specific cuts here, here, and kind of just work it. So eventually, once this circle part of the propeller is loose, eventually there'll be more room so you can slide this off and you're good to go. Now, if this is a bad fan and everything else, you're not going to worry too much about this, because you can see the cylinder. Once we loosen the back, you're just going to pull it out and you'll be good. Now, one other method you could do the expansion method as well if you do not have a grinder. And that involves, well, it's a little bit more heat and everything else. So this part gets real hot, either with the torch and stuff. You have that heat up, and and let it cool down. And so basically when it expands in the heat and then contracts when it cools down, it breaks up a lot of the stuff, and then you can help loosen that and use PB Blaster if you want. And if you do that method, it's more for just extreme measures, but if you do that method, just be careful working with all that heat, and especially with hot surfaces. So we may talk a lot on this part, but this is the hardest part. When you agreed, Dad, because this cannot, well, it may not end up being your friend, just like what happened.
Well, you're absolutely correct, because if you cannot get that fan off, that back, you'll see the motor will not come out. And pretty soon it becomes very, very stressful. Then you just need to take a break, listen to Briggs's ideas, and sooner or later you'll get it off safely and professionally.
Anyway, that's part one done.
Nice job.
All right.
Okay, this is the next step. So again, we're going to take out these panels, 5/16, and you can use an impact or your regular ratchet. So 5/16. Now take your time. I mean, these are mass produced, so you don't want to strip out anything. So just take it, and set everything aside nicely, so you know where things are. Because when you lose a screw or anything else, it holds up your project. So again, take off the panel like so. Just set it somewhere gently, and then we'll go to the other side real quick, and then 5/16 again. Take them out. Set this. And again, just be careful here. Just let it slide out. There you go. And here we go. So right here, this is the motor. And in the front, you saw when Briggs took off the fan blade or the impeller, there was just a shaft. So this motor is attached to the shaft. So we need to get this motor out of here. So we've got some things going on here. Briggs, do you think we should just lay this down or not?
No, I think we're good. I mean, being able to have more room is very handy, but it just depends on how much you want to take out. You can take this fan out as is.
Okay, I'll tell you what. Just to have more room, this is just your plate. So over here, you're going to have a second one. We're going to make it so you have more room because it'd be less frustrating. So this just lifts out.
Beautiful.
Just set it aside. So you're not going to ruin anything. Just set it aside gently, just like so. So you can use a regular ratchet or your impact. I'm going to use the impact with a 5/32. And so
11:30 seconds.
11/32. See, I tell you, it's so nice to have my son here. He helps me, and of course I help him. So this is a good team thing.
And soldiers.
So what is this? 11/32?
Yep.
Okay, we're on the same page. So there's going to be 3 screws that I'm going to take out. So I'll take this one on the left. You can barely see it, but I'm going to go right in here. So folks, when you're at home, think about it. You don't have a lot of room, but if you take your time, I know you can do it, but just unloosen this. And then I'm going to gently just come out. And sometimes you may drop it in here. If you do, well, fish it out. Things happen. There's the first one. The second one, can we get down this low? Are you getting my chrome dome on there?
Oh, that's a hard shot. Hold on a second.
It's right in here.
Bear with us, folks. This is a very tight fit, but yeah, it's tucked in.
I can't even see it.
Right about there.
So just go slow until you know you have it, and then gently go out, and there's the second one. So I'm going to take a breather. I'll tell you, this is a tough one, but I know you can do it. The last one is on the very, very top. So here, it's right here. So can you see that,
Yep.
Briggs? So I'm going to go to this one, and you can see the fan's already starting to get loose a little bit. So this top one I'm going to do last. So I'm going to unloosen it. That's okay. I've got it. I'm going to hold on to this a little bit. I'm going to come out. And there is the third one. So
Perfect.
I'm going to set down this impact and just take a breather. And this will come out like so. And this thing is roached. And so you could save this gasket. There's nothing wrong with it. This gasket's still good. But this motor here, we are going to dismantle some of the wiring, and then we're going to install the new one in just a second.
You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So, everyone, we're going to show a couple choices of what you can do. So, this is going to be the main focus right here, is this wiring. This wiring goes right in through here, back into the harness itself. Option 1 of what you could do, you can trace back this wire bundle, and you can cut these zip ties on here and unloosen this and disconnect it as so. That's option 1. Option 2, if you want to save some hassle from especially going in all here on this rat's nest, what you can do a little retrofitting, and right here you can splice these 3 wires, this green, black, and white one, and you can replace it with some male ends to then use to connect right to these female ends. So that's option 2. That's the one we're going to be showing in this video. So right here, we're going to get our wire cutters. We're going to go in here and give a little bit of length there so we can attach new ends and just simply cut right there. And don't forget, sometimes there may be a pesky, if I can get that angle just right. Yeah, let's get those ones. Thank you. There can be a pesky zip tie that's just perfectly set in there. No worries, that's the old one. So right there, we got our 3 ends. So right there, you want to strip each end right there with some wire strippers. Get them all prepped up for the male ends right here. So right here, you got your male ends on by using a wire crimper, and you're ready to go for the connections. So right here, male ends, female ends, connect the ground, just as so. Let's see if it's nice with us. Perfect, there we go. Now for this aftermarket one, so you got 2 blacks and you got a black and white wire. In this case, it doesn't matter. You are all good. Let's get that going. Sweet, and one more connection. And sometimes when you use different newer connectors, it may take a little elbow grease to get the old ones on, but once you got them on and they have solid connections, you're good to go. And my dad will show you how to put this motor in.
Okay, always saving money. This gasket is still good, so I'm going to go in here and obviously just find your 3 points. And so you're going to set it in just like that. And so don't worry about the wiring right now, because we are going to dip tuck, how you want to say it. It'll look kind of like this. So I'm going to lift the wiring up. Now I'm going to line each point with the studs. So, and obviously this shaft is going to go through the center hole, because that's going to go through to the front of the stove. So here we go. That's lined up.
A little hard to see from that angle, huh?
Yep.
There you
So
go.
now it's
Perfect.
all on the studs. Now, to get to everything, sometimes you can take your hand and you can see, you may be able to pre-thread it. It's really, really tough.
A little easier than the original motor.
Yeah, I think if you can get it preset, like I have it on there very gently with my hand.
Perfect.
And so that's, you can use that, but you just want to take your time with it. And you can use an impact too. Like I'm going to try this one,
See if that
just
right.
carefully. And that's not being my friend at all.
No, it's your friend. It's pre-threaded on there. You'll have to have a longer one to finish it.
So that's really nice, because we got that other one in, and you want to just go slow, because sometimes you can use deep dish sockets or small dish sockets, but you just want to just take your time. Just I'm going to put this on here. It's just snug. And over here,
In these cases, we encourage creativity because not everything's 1, 2, 3, huh?
absolutely not. So we got this top one up here, so what do you think?
Either one would work.
I don't know if I can get my hand in there.
I think you probably just got barely enough for him.
I'll tell you, it's going to be a... So when I'm taking my hand in here, and you could use just a regular hand tool and just pre-thread it, but not cross-thread it. Like so. And then I'm going to bring this in. Until it's just snug. So I'm going to just, if you use a regular ratchet, just nice and snug, each 3 studs. Just a little click over here. Click. Don't over tighten it. These motors are mass produced. And I love that. That's on there really, really snug. And the next thing, we're going to tie this up. And we'll see in a second. Okay, last part here. Now, we have to make sure that this wiring is away from the auger motor and obviously the room convection air fan. So, don't yank on it, but just kind of like bind it up a little bit. Just like Briggs, if you show this. Same thing. This is OEM. So, we try to make it as OEM as possible, but number one is safety. And so, I'm going to go ahead and just tighten this up a little bit. And just before I do it, I want to make sure that I'm away from everything. And I'll just give it a little snug. And see, this is totally away from everything. Right here, this is fine. And so you have excess, so use scissors or snips, whatever you have. And go ahead and just take it off like that. And there you have it. And so we're going to the front of the stove and put the impeller back on, and we're pretty close to finishing this project.
All right, so now finally we can put on our new propeller. Now putting on the new one versus taking off the old one, very different story. This one's more straightforward and a lot easier in my opinion. So right here is a new exhaust fan shaft right here. Now take note, see this flat spot right here? You want to line that flat spot where the bolt is, right as so. So what we're going to do, we're going to put that right on, and we're going to find the right spacing from the wall. So roughly, if you remember from last one, you can get pretty close to where it was. You want it to be right here. You don't want to be all the way to the wall because it's going to start grinding right against that. It's not going to work well. So take it just a little bit off, just about that or so. So when it does spin, it's like that. So again, I'm going to make sure it's on that flat spot. I'm going to take my 3mm, or if you have a star wrench set, use that as well. Basically, let me move my flashlight so we can see. Basically, for this whole project, we recommend getting a full set of both an Allen and a star. The reason being is because the sizes we told you today fit for these parts, but sometimes during manufacturing, things might change just a little bit. And so we just want to cover all the bases. So basically, if you have a multitude of sizes, well, you're better equipped for the job. So right there, I tightened it down, and it's spun very nicely. Now, lastly, what I want to do, I want to go to the more leverage side of the wrench and give it just a nice final sets of tightening. You just want to get nice and tight and snug. And right then and there, new propeller's in.
That's beautiful.
And finally, well, you got your fan in. You can skip this part if you want, but we kind of like showing the whole process in this. And so, right here, I'm going to show you how to put all the back places on.
So these bolts, and sometimes I say screws and whatnot, but you get it like throughout the video. But these flanges sometimes move, and so you want to make sure that they are lined up. See how this moves? You want to make sure that they don't move, because this screw won't go in. So anyway, right here, this little trough here, I'm going to take this and put it back into the trough. You can see it. Now it's sitting there. Now, when I go back over here, hopefully things line up, son.
Speaking your friend.
Yeah, it is.
Perfect.
But I always use, and Briggs does too, we pre-thread things, because a lot of times they don't line up. Like right here, I'm going to have to pull this over a little bit so it lines up with the hole, because it's just, it works better. You just pre-thread it, so you know you have it in there. And then you just take, what is this, 5/16?
5/16.
5/16. So I'm going to just gently snug. Just don't over tighten it. I know you're getting tired, and so are we, but you know, if you really get tired, again, take a break and then come back to the project. Okay, there you go. And then we come over here, and I'm going to do this like, oh boy, you just want to line it up. You can kind of see where it goes into this slit and this slit. So you want to just bring it over until it's snug like so. So right up in here, I'm going to tuck down below you, move this just a little bit. And so we want to make sure that the holes here are lined up as well. So I just kind of pre-thread it a little bit down here. You can move this, see? And so you want to make sure you line up the holes. You don't want to cross thread or strip this stuff. It's just going to just make your project more frustrating and not as professional. So snug, ready, snug. I'm going to creep around you, move this, go to this other one. So same panel. So I like this. I'm going to move this just like this. And this bottom part up here, this slides in. Just be gentle. Watch your fingers.
Beautiful.
Believe me, we use gloves quite often. I would recommend it. It's just, there's a lot of sharp edges on pellet stoves and cars and trucks and things like that. So it's just common sense. So I'm going to pre-thread it. And here we go. 5/16 snug. This one here, oops. I'm going to bring it in a little bit. These are a little bit flexible. And there you have that part.
This side right here, you want to make sure, again, when you're putting it in, all the way to the left, this thing that protrudes out goes right straight in the middle towards the exhaust tube. So right there, all the way to the left. Right side's clear. You're going to slowly, it's going to take a slowly line up. There we go. It's that protruding back end that kind of sticks out. And right there, you're good. You can secure the left side and secure the right side. That's all good. Now, we're going to take our panels here. We want to make sure this part's down.
Show that again real quick.
This part's down.
Yep.
Going from the top, move it over. It's kind of like a Jenga puzzle. About right there, those notches will fit in. A little harder to see. Let me get myself to see here. Right there.
Beautiful.
Fold that in on top and over here. Finally, flashlights are your friend, folks. Bring this leather down. There you go. We're going to repeat the same side over here. Again, cross over. It's like a Jenga puzzle. Put it right here. Lifting this up. Finding those notches will fit just nicely in. Now it's flush. Good there. And up top there, same thing. Latch down. So that's all good to go. Don't forget, this one's an easy one to forget, it's your ash pan. Make sure you put that right there. And finally, close your door. Now you're done. Good job, guys. All right, everyone, that's all we got for you. You guys did great. Thanks for bearing with us, and you know what? We really appreciate the time you spent with us, and hopefully this video's been really helpful for you all.
Yep, I tell you, we'll have more makes and models for you, your friends, and your family. We're going to continue to save you money. Join Briggs and I for future videos. We're having a great time, and we thank you very much.
All right, thanks, guys. See you on the next video.